Emergency alert systems. While the name changes from country to country, the general idea stays the same. Warn people of shit that's coming. But once more and more people got access to the internet, they realized they could do one of two things with this concept. Make it into something that can fuck, or make their own fanfictions out of it. And since I have no motivation to look into the former, please don't tell me they exist. Let's talk about some instances of the latter today. But first, some caveats. Obviously, I can't play the audio of these since they contain the actual audio of the emergency alert systems that are used worldwide. And playing that in public can be a crime, so I'm not risking that shit. Secondly, I've tried my best to make sure none of the projects I talk about are made by minors, because I know there are some EASs made by minors on the site. I don't know why they do it, but they do, and frankly, I'd rather let them enjoy their childhoods, so they get a pass today. Besides, when they become adults, they'll look back on these and probably cringe or something like that, so they don't need me to do that for their work. Father Time's gonna take care of that for me. Besides, I've seen the levels of harassments minors get on this platform from adults, and it's fucking disgusting. I'm still never forgiving those people who harass the creator of Man in the Suit to the point of canceling the series. Jesus Christ, if those people instead put that level of effort and time into dealing with the sick fucks harming children on the platform, we'd probably get a lot more done. Anyways, I got no ill will towards these creators. This is just me giving my thoughts on them. In other words, I am judging the art. I am not judging the artist. Alright. Now let's dive in. One of the first ones I saw was from The Awakening, a scenario about a zombie apocalypse. Man, I sure hope that didn't become overdone as time went on. But yeah, the editing is really good and the visuals are great, but unfortunately the story's a giant idiot plot, and that drags it down for me. Normally I can let that slide in horror stories because more often than not the character is scared and not thinking straight, but here's where the issue comes in, and this also became a recurring one in the numerous AASs I'm going to be talking about today. There is no cast of characters here. Most of these are centered on spoon-feeding you the information on what's going on, and how much the situation sucks and or is getting worse. And that's because that's what an EAS is supposed to do. Give you the information on what's going on. But because there's no cast of characters here, the idiot plot becomes less excusable here. Because there's no character here that's being scared to justify the idiot plot's existence. Just the author deciding to escalate things at the cost of this world being composed of humans infested with brain-eating amoeba when this could have easily been resolved in a matter of months. Not to mention the fact that this is incredibly fucking long. Holy shit. Fuck. Additionally, because there's no cast of characters in this, why should I care about what happens? You've literally given me no reason to. Needless to say, I was not impressed with this scenario, despite it having very good editing and visuals, and that's a damn shame. But that's just me. But for those who don't know how YouTube works, once you see a video, you tend to get more videos in that similar style when you visit the homepage or on other videos. So needless to say, my journey into the world of these scenarios was only just beginning. The next one I would end up seeing is an unofficial epilogue to The Awakening created by somebody else. Sadly, the idiot plot is still there, and the full version is 2 hours and 11 minutes long. Oh my fucking... But at least the visuals and editing are still very good. The next one I saw was yet another unofficial epilogue to The Awakening, which also took footage from the other epilogue, and was also longer than that by 37 minutes. Holy fuck, some people need to know what pacing means. The next one I saw was thankfully not an epilogue to The Awakening. It was, however, another zombie scenario titled The Final Minutes Zombie Plague. Parts 1 and then Part 2 later on. Both are each an hour long. Both with good visuals and editing, but somehow the story got even stupider than the other zombie one. So, let me break this down for you. It starts with a zombie outbreak, because of fucking course it does. Then they nuke the planet, thinking it'll kill the zombies and shit. It doesn't. Then we find out there's flying zombies and titan zombies. Then we find out that a new species of zombies is created by having zombies magically fuse into a giant fuck-off creature. Then we find out there are hybrid zombies like spider zombies. And then, in the middle of all of this, the remains of humanity have a faction that creates the equivalent of a fucking earthquake machine that could create one powerful enough to destroy the planet? This has to be a fucking parody, right? Because this sounds like something that's taking the piss out of these scenarios, right? No, it's played straight. Fucking Christ, this is dumb. What the fuck is next? Plants that I'm done. Fuck this! Okay, what's next? Black Divide. Scenario where racial tensions reach their peak and causes the governing body of the US to go completely extinct. When was this posted? June 22nd, 2025? The same month as the 2025 Los Angeles protests? Could this be any more tone deaf? Fuck it. Let's try another one. The Mandela Effect. Scenario where the titular effect kicks in, and it turns out Asia wasn't real the entire time. Only for that to be a false alarm. But the effect kicks in again, and it turns out Africa wasn't real in this scenario. And that wipes out humanity because that's where humans first came from. It's a short AAS. It's paced very well. Editing is not too bad. It could be improved for later works, but This is a pretty good first attempt at an EAS. Kudos to the creator. This is a really good one. Another really good one is an EAS scenario themed around Skynet. The editing is pretty good, the pacing is handled really well, and the escalation of events is executed really well for fans of the Terminator franchise. Once again, kudos to the creator. Alright, 2 for 2. Can we get a third one? Well, yes. 3 strikes and I'm out, that is. Judgment Year is the next one, and I'm back into a poorly paced EAS. 51 minutes of the Christian end of the world bringing humanity to its demise. So, the Christian version of Judgment Day, eh? That could raise a lot of interesting plot points and ideas, considering that various religions have differing versions of how the world ends, and also how shocking it would be to find out in this story, the Christian interpretation was the one that actually happened. There's a lot of interesting ideas, and the punchline is that we get absolutely none of that. Instead, we get potentially AI-generated footage of birds dropping into the water, and then the sun wiping out all of humanity at the end. Hey, I forget, and this also goes out to my Christian/Catholic viewers, doesn't the Bible state that the righteous would inherit the land and dwell in it forever? Also, didn't it also say that the fourth angel scorched people with fire, yet it takes place at the end? So let me get this straight. If that's true, you decided to go with the Christian version of the end times, but you couldn't even adapt it properly? Bruh! So, the pacing is way too slow. The adaptation of the end times they chose to go with is incredibly fucking sloppy. The character element is non-existent, so I have little reason to even give a shit about what happens. It's not very good, basically. Honestly, that's a damn shame, because like with the other two I disliked, the visuals, well, at least the non-Gen AI parts, and the editing are really good. But hey, this one may not have been my cup of tea, but this account uploads EAS scenarios all the fucking time. So maybe when I stumble across that account again in the future, maybe I'll find one that I do enjoy. It's always worth a shot. Okay, what's next? Another fucking zombie EAS? God, how many of them are there? Why does this look like it's from the 28 Days Later series? You really couldn't just find a flag and throw a piss filter on the sky? You had to AI gen it? Fuck off! Azovit, huh? Not as subtle as a fucking... Wait! How long is that video? Three fucking hours? Are you fucking nuts? Calling it now. The next EAS zombie scenario is gonna have fucking zombie Peanuts in it. Fucking Mr. Peanut will rise from the dead, and it turns out that all this time, Peanuts were the result of Mr. Peanut's kooky magic. What's next? An EAS scenario in San Francisco getting a big earthquake, and then it turns out to also be an earthquake.
They're being orchestrated by some advanced device buried within the Earth.
I was fucking joking! Okay, let's try another one. The last season. So what's this one about? Humanity finding out that Earth was in reality a television program and that humans were really just fictional characters for beings of higher powers amusement? One of the 4 seasons going extinct? Based on the thumbnail, it looks like Winter's the one that's going extinct. So let's find out. What is the last season about? It's an AS about an asteroid that's been tracked for over 20 years, going to hit Earth and wipe out all of humanity. So, let me get this straight. They found an asteroid that was on course for Earth 20 years before the story, and they just kept it hidden? No one leaked it for those 2 decades? Not even some dumbass kid spotted it with their telescope? Oh great, another fucking idiot plot. Fuck me. Also, get this. A small fragment of the asteroid breaks off and hits a town in Virginia with enough energy to set fire to 86% of North America's continent. Not just the state of Virginia, the entire continent. Oh, and apparently scorched parts of Europe and Africa. South America's fine, though. I guess they could just jump over the flames. How fucking big is this asteroid? Jupiter-sized? Did every kid with a telescope in the early 2000s spot this fucking thing and just think it was the final form of their bully or something? Fuck, this is stupid. Oh, wait. It's not the entire asteroid that wipes out the planet, just the main fragment. My mistake. It's just the main Now they're saying it's the asteroid itself. So we went from small fragment to main fragment to an asteroid. Who the fuck wrote this shit? Heaton Mitsuru? So was there anything I liked about the CAS? Yes. The visuals are great, as is the editing. It's just the story that's a hot mess, and honestly could have used a second draft, personally speaking. But like the last scenario I went in depth about, this account also uploads EAS videos all the time. So while this one doesn't click with me, there's always a good chance one of their other scenarios will. So, yeah, it's safe to say I am not a fan of these fan-made AAS videos. A lot of them certainly look great and are edited very damn well for the most part, but the pacing tends to be way too glacial for my liking. There's next to no reason for me to give a shit about what happens since it's a fictional scenario with no character element to them, and some of the stories got way too ridiculous for me to enjoy. But I also fully acknowledge that that's a me issue. There's a reason why this genre of videos still get made nowadays, because there's clearly a big enough audience for it, and a lot of people still enjoy creating these videos. Everyone has different tastes in media, and they're not wrong for having those tastes. If anything, hearing different tastes in media is more fun, because you can hear different perspectives on something and even catch stuff that you missed when you experienced it for the first time. So if you saw any of these scenarios and got an interest in checking out more but can also handle said subject matter, absolutely give fan-made AAS scenarios a shot. They may not be my thing, but they might be yours. There's only one way to find out. But like I said earlier, not a good idea to blare these videos in public, because blaring the alert system is a crime in several countries. As for me, I'm gonna continue my search into other new things outside my comfort zone. But before I fully dive back in, I think it's time I tear into something truly scary. So until we meet again, I'm David Grimm, and thank you for watching.